Just another FIFO moment out here in these streets. Anybody can catch that fade. And some of them fades you don't recover from. You can't treat people any kind of way and think that it ain't gonna be no consequences for it. Believe that. So we all should respect people.
That motherfucker got on a private plane and left Israel. He left. He started a war and he left.
باشید آنچه که دیدید صدایی که شنیدید صدای متجاوز به خاک وطن صدای متجاوز به صدای حق و حقیقت است آنچه که ملاحظه کردید صدایی که شنیدید فضای غبارآلود استادیوم
Well, the ongoing war in Ukraine is taking a serious turn for the worse. With all eyes on the Middle East, Russia has been raining down hundreds of drones and missiles on the capital, Kiev. One strike hit a multi-storey residential building, splitting it in two and leaving a huge gap where hundreds of homes were just moments before. Emergency workers say at least 23 bodies in this attack alone were pulled from the rubble. All this as Vladimir Putin of Russia is casting himself as a power broker in the Israel-Iran conflict, trying to shift focus onto his potential role as a Mideast peacemaker and away from the war he's waging closer to home.
They know Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. That's the only reason they're comfortable attacking them. Because they know Iran cannot attack back with nuclear weaponry. And they arrogantly thought their Iron Dome was going to protect them. But it literally collapsed within 24 hours. A lot of people may have seen earlier videos where a whole bunch of Iran's weapons were being intercepted by the Iron Dome. The Iron Dome, by the way, actually shoots a missile up to intercept and blow up other missiles. But what they didn't get is that Iran was intentionally sending old missiles to wear out, to use up the defense. And once they felt like they had sufficiently worn down the defenses of the Iron Dome, then they started unleashing the heavy duty stuff. And Iran has hypersonic missiles. And I don't know if you've seen one of those on video. It is insane how fast they come in. You're not getting out of the way of a hypersonic missile. You may be able to see some other type of missile up in the air, heading your way, you run for the hills. You're not running from a hypersonic missile. As fast as you see it, it's there. It travels faster than the speed of sound. So it hits you before you even hear it coming. They've also unleashed a new type of weaponry that we've never even seen before. Hey Siri, how many missiles does Iran have? It's going to be in the thousands. 3,000 ballistic missiles. They're going to level Israel like a parking lot.
"30,000 Israelis have fled to the neighboring country of Cyprus by boat or by yacht over the past 3 days. And they have the audacity over the past 600 days to make all these jokes, these cowardice jokes about the strength of the Gazan people. And they couldn't last 3 days. And they got bunkers too. And they got a full air defense system with a few Iranian missiles. They couldn't last 3 days. Okay. Now, the Israeli tourism minister just came out and said, hey, look, we're not going to allow any Israelis to leave the country. Tourists that were here, you can leave and hopefully you get out soon if you want to leave. But yeah, Israeli citizens, you're not going to be leaving. Okay, they shut down Ben Gurion Airport. They shut down the airlines. Only some evac flights are going on right now. So this is really not a great situation for all of them, which is incredible because, they said, this is our land. This has always been our land. But as soon as a few Iranian missiles start flying, they say, going to Cyprus. Okay, other interesting news related to this. Wall Street Journal, Washington Post reported today that Israel is running out of their aero defense missiles. They are running out of their air missile defense missiles that they actually used to take a few of these Iranian strikes out of the sky. So whether or not that's propaganda just to get more support from the United States, I don't know. It could be true. Maybe it is true. A lot of those missiles are beginning to go through. Iran is now launching less missiles every day because they don't have to launch as many missiles per day to get the same amount of actual successful strikes. So you have these Zionists saying, they're reducing the amount of strikes. Well, no, the same amount of missiles are actually hitting each day. They're just having to actually fire less missiles because you guys are running out of air defense systems, okay?
If you provoke a fight, don't cry when the punches come. If you bomb a sovereign state, don't act surprised when they respond. This ain't a game. This ain't a drill. This is consequence. Israel lit the match. Iran didn't start this fire, but now they're walking through it like warriors, and suddenly the bully got a black eye, and he's crying out to Big Brother America to come hold him. Help us, Washington. We didn't think they'd fight back. Well, guess what? The days of getting hit without hitting back are over. Iran stood up, and that shook the Zionist throne because they never expected resistance, just obedience. Now let me say this plain. You don't have to like Iran. You don't have to agree with Iran. But if you believe in justice, if you believe in dignity, you better stand with the defenseless. Because right now, Israel ain't fighting for survival. It's fighting to keep domination. And Iran is answering a slap with a fist. They're used to bombing cities and watching the world do nothing. But this time, the world watched Tehran rise. This time, there was an answer. And now the empire's golden child is shaking. Don't come crying now. When Palestinians cry, you look away. When Yemen starves, you fall silent. But when Tel Aviv trembles, you empty your treasury. This isn't about democracy. This is about loyalty to power. This is about who gets to kill and still be called innocent. But something's different. People are waking up. Truth is louder than propaganda now. You don't have to love the fighters, just love the people who can't defend themselves. Because the innocent don't have missiles, they have prayers. And right now, those prayers are louder than ever. To Israel, I say this, you started this, you live with it. To America, don't sell your soul to defend arrogance. The defenseless are not statistics. They are people, they are children, they are homes, they are voices that the bombs try to silence. But they will not be erased.
This is a completely civilian neighborhood. You can watch and see the impact.
And there you have it. The most genocidal army in the world is now playing with our emotions by pointing out bombed out civilian buildings, all thanks to Iran. And to be honest, we don't really care. We really don't. Because these are the same civilians that used to have picnic tours on the Gazian borders while sipping wine and eating barbecued chicken and laughing at the cries of Gazian people begging for mercy as they are blown to bits and starved to death. And these are the same civilians that refer to Gazian babies as terrorists and hence must be destroyed. And these are the same civilians that used to block aid trucks from going to Gaza to feed these starving babies. And you want us to feel pity? At least these buildings are still standing.
Okay, so I'm in the middle of Tel Aviv. What you're looking at here is the crater from one of the Iranian ballistic missiles that hit last night. And this is the blast damage behind me, these residential apartment buildings.
So a pre-alert has gone off and all these people who were on the beach are now trying to get into this shelter. We haven't heard sirens yet, but this is becoming the new normal. This is the first time today that we have had sirens, and it comes on the back of an announcement by the defense minister that they were going to gradually reopen the economy, let people start going back to work. And you can see and hear, probably if I pan over, lots and lots of people. The all clear has been given and people are going back to their evenings.
Whilst Israel commits war crimes and starves babies to death, there is a responsibility on anyone with a platform to speak up and stand out against it. And as the international community complies with the narrative and agenda of a rogue state, we can watch the colonial systems kick into gear to silence anyone who dares to criticise what none of us should be able to bear. And as tomorrow dawns close, we commend the defiance of Liam O'Hany and his bandmates, who took a stand for humanity despite massive personal risk to both their careers and their reputations. And we commend all of those who do so and encourage anyone who has not thus far to start. Gurmila Mayagov.
That's it. More later. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching. And that's all I got. Peace.